Fighting.
The most I ever made was 8.8 in one night.
Oh, wow.
I made 8.8 million the second time I fought Anderson.
Wow.
And I know.
Talking shit pays, boy.
I know I just became a scumbag to the audience. I didn't mean to, but they used to post this publicly.
They love you.
And I only
that's
told
huge. This is huge money.
I told that story one time to a guy named Brian. And Brian was a good friend of mine. And Brian told me that didn't happen. And then he broke down the math. He goes, here's what the gate was, and here's what the pay-per-view was. And they just couldn't have done that. And I said, yeah. Just like that. I backtracked and just took it back. Yep. I had a friend, and Front Row Brian was his name. He was even a media personality. And I told him I did 8.8 million, and here's how we did. And he told me it wasn't so. And I said, yep. I just let it go.
Hold on. This is wild. Okay, so.
Sorry, I'm going to piss my pants.
Go. 8.8. Wow. Now that's a stunning gate for a UFC fight now. Not even gate. That's a stunning payout for a UFC fighter now.
Yes.
This is how long ago?
This was in 2012, and I will tell you, those numbers are
11 years ago.
The numbers are bigger than people.
What did Silva get?
I've always wondered that. He had to get more.
No.
He had to.
Maybe you're getting paid as the heel.
Maybe.
Because they know that Silva can't promote it like you're going to promote it. And where did you guys fight?
And I heard rumors, though, that he was like 3.2 million or 3.1 million, and I've tried to confirm that. But then he also told me a number that he thought we did in pay-per-views wasn't the number that we did in pay-per-view. So I didn't know where this whole thing sat. And so, I mean, there was just like when I was dealing with Brian, like there was just a time that I just stopped.
You got your money, that's all that
matters.
matters.
I was like, you're right.
Okay, so 8.8. So you did really well. Yeah, and what about when you were doing like, when you were basically running around fighting all of like the stars? Like, what about when you did your Bellator run?
Yeah, well, Bellator was another great one. You know, it was a little bit different model because they didn't have the pay-per-view. And one of the great things, I mean, it's like any great performer. You watch this hand, so you don't see what this hand's doing. And from day one, MMA's done a great job of coming out and saying, here's what the live gate was and here's what the pay-per-view was. Here's what the live gate and here's what the here's what the live gate. And what they did over a period of time is they convinced the audience without even asking that they're in the live gate and pay-per-view business. So now you get people that think they're smart to the business. Oh, I know what it is. And you've got two revenue streams. But then a pandemic hits the world, and all of a sudden you can't have a live gate. But the one sport that kept going was MMA.
Damn
with
right.
absolutely no gates, zero.
Those sponsorship dollars
and
are right.
There you go. And it was thriving on top of that. All of a sudden, you know, pay-per-view changed. The pay-per-view model doesn't even exist today as it did in 2012 at all. But the business and the doors stay open, and the sponsorships come in. Well, the way the pay-per-view used to be in 2012, it was called pay-per-view, but you could go on DirecTV.
Yeah,
that's what it was called. You could push a button.
Yeah.
But it's very different now. It's largely streamed now. It's largely digital. It's just a completely different business. It's just not structured the same. It's not even the same technology, the way that it comes through digitally. So here, I'll give you a great example. But Jon Jones set out because he was unhappy with his contract. So Jon Jones comes back. He signs a new contract, and he has a guy named Richard Schaefer do it. Now, Jon doesn't know this yet. And
Schaefer from the Mayweather's promotions?
Well,
no,
Richard,
Golden Boy.
He formed Golden Boy.
That's right.
Yes, Oscar took the credit, but Schaefer did it.
Schaefer was there. I bumped it more. Okay,
very accomplished man.
Yeah.
He's a very
accomplished
sharp
man. Guy.
So he stepped in to help Jon Jones, and Dana respected him. The problem is, the deal that Schaefer did for Jones would have been a very good deal back in the pay-per-view model that Schaefer understood. It's completely different now, or even the one that Jon walked away from 3 years ago. The business has changed so much, and these two knuckleheads and I just watched this whole thing happen. And I'm a nemesis of Jon, but I watched this happen, and my evil side, goddamn, how do you not know what you're doing? And how do you bring in a guy from a generation and a technology and a business ago who's never done an MMA contract, and he got a yes on his first day? That should have been a clue to him. The greatest sharks in the world gave you a yes on your first day. You dumb son of a... But here they are. But here they are.
So do you know the details of the contract?
No, it was basically, so it comes with thresholds. If you're in on the pay-per-view, it just comes with what's called thresholds. And a standard of the industry would be 200,000. Yeah. With this story, that's where we break even, which of course, but this is the story and it's consistent and it transcends times. But then at 500,000, you bump to this number, and 800,000, you bump to this, and $1 million, you bump to this, and nobody ever bumps to all the way to that high, except, Lesnar and McGregor. And basically that was it. Jon just wanted a little bit more, and he wanted the thresholds to be a little bit less. But it's a completely different model now, even from 3 years ago when he walked away. But Jon couldn't sit here and tell us what the MMA model is right now. You couldn't sit him. It's like Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou out there running them out there about free agents. Well, let's just sit them down and find out the economics of the fight game. They could not tell you step number one. Well, you're going to sell some tickets. Okay, but the venue's only so big. What happens when the tickets are gone? Well, then we're going to go. They don't know it. So when you're sitting there and you're trying to negotiate, you don't even know what it is you're talking about. It's just one of these situations in life, right? I mean, there's a reason it's called a business, and some of it's none of yours. You got to do the work on your own. You got to find out what you're doing. But I will tell you, Jon sitting out because he wasn't happy with his pay and then signing a deal with Richard Schaefer that doesn't know the industry now really was something to watch. Yeah. It really was something to watch. I just sit there and go, oh my God, 3 years of your life you wasted. The best in the world, the best dude in the world could have had 3 fights a year. You could have 9 fights behind you. You could have $50 million sitting in the bank. And now you're walking out to a deal that would have been good when you left 3 years ago.
Now, would you say...
And by the way, Jon, why do you think Richard Schaefer would know what he's doing in the world of MMA? Well, he started Golden Boy. Yeah, but let me ask you, but why would he know what he's doing in the world of MMA?
Yeah.
Well, he started Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Maybe he was thinking he knows what he's doing in the world of promoting fight sports.
Yeah. Schaefer's impressive. Like that, that's all true, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot of agents rep NFL, NBA, MLB athletes.
Yeah.
To your point, the model changed.
And the Golden Boy model was interesting. I remember the Golden Boy model being that they were basically taking every dollar grossed from everything. It was sponsorship, Livegate, whatever, went into one bucket. I'm pretty sure. And they were making even employees buy their own tickets. Like nobody was getting free tickets. And then, actually, yeah, that's right. This was the cash out deals that some people say have kind of hurt boxing because there was very little money that was left for the promotion. I remember Mayweather doing pretty much all the PR. They would do the live events. He would do those little they would do the little tour when they were announcing the fight. Do you remember they would do those little press tours?
Of course.
That was the PR.
Yeah.
They weren't spending that much on advertising or anything because Mayweather was just promoting the fights. And it kind of killed the boxing model in a way because these fighters started going, oh yeah, I'm just getting 90% of gross. Yep. It's like, well, you're not Mayweather.
Right.
You can't promote a fight.
That's right.
You need to take 20% of that and dump it into fucking ads because they're boring.
Yes.
Yeah, so the model was good if you could talk, and it was horrible for you if you couldn't.
That's right. Yeah, which isn't a big surprise. I mean, it sounds like the way that it should be. I mean, I'll just share with you that is a really interesting thing. You've got Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou. Both these guys are mad at me. Both of these guys have said these terrible things about me in the media lately. But it's because I give them a hard time, and I'm not giving them a hard time to make fun of them. I'm giving them a hard time so they ask themselves these very... So I really am coming from a position of trying to help them. Like, Deontay, Francis, how do you make money in fighting? They just want somebody to hand me a check. I mean, that's it. Somebody give me money. It's like... Back up. Where does that guy get the money? How does that money... let's just start in step number one. You've been doing this for 20 years, goddammit. How do you make $1 in this business besides somebody giving you a check? They don't know. They both sit there quiet. They don't have the foggiest idea. It's like, well, but wouldn't it behoove you to look into that just a little bit? If you know the rules of the game, you can then manipulate the rules of the game. And it's a weird step. You got Deontay, he's out there, he's running his mouth on TV over the weekend that he wants to fight Francis. You haven't had, if I came on your show right now, Andrew, and I made an announcement that I was going to fight somebody, I would have Scott Coker already backing me. Dana White and I already would have spoken.